This is Eat, Sleep, Invest, the marketing podcast for real estate investors to get more deals. Hey, welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Eat, Sleep, and Invest. I'm your host, Bryan Driscoll. I'm here with Kevin Lee. What's going on, Kevin?
Hey, Brian. Happy Friday to you. Thank you so much for inviting me over to your podcast.
Sure thing, man. So hey, guys, this is going to be an interesting talk because Kevin's got some experience over there. Like, Kevin, give a little background on everything you got going on.
Yeah, so I started investing in real estate actively back in 2017. Before that, I spent probably 7 years of my life in tech. Before that, I was in school, pursuing my highest education in computer science. I got my master's at CMU, Pittsburgh. And then I went back to Cali, got my PhD in computer science at UCLA. And then I spent 7 years in the Bay Area in tech, in like 3 different companies. And then I decided to just quit that and pursue like my real passion. Actually, computer science is also the other passion. I have passion in computer science and in real estate, but they just happen to be so different from each other, right? So I started, flipping houses, buying houses, doing multifamily syndication. This is kind of like my journey, and then kind of dabble into commercial real estate in the last 5 years or so. Yeah.
So you got the computer science background and real estate. Yeah, they are 2 different. Now, are you doing anything in computer science still?
No. I mean, I still like to program, break things, so I do like to do that kind of things, here and there. How the CRM, I mean, we use Podio, right? You can kind of program Podio, Zapier, you can pull applications and then just integrate them together via Zapier, right? So I would just kind of tinker with that a little bit. I mean, nothing like fancy or like sophisticated, complex, like, what I used to do. Like we used to build systems, design and build, implement and all that. So nothing like that. They're just completely different. Everything that we do in real estate is just like 1 + 1, very like 101, math 101, things like that.
Yeah, I'm with you. And maybe someday you'll come up with some awesome software like to merge tech and real estate in together.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's always in the back of my mind to go back to tech too.
Yeah,
so we never know.
That's cool. So you're invested now. Now, what are you doing? Are you doing like a lot of singles? You said you did some commercial too. Like, what's a little background on like what you're currently doing?
I think our wheelhouse is in single family, and we do 60-40 flip, short-term rental. Yeah. So we buy anywhere from like I would say 4 to 6 houses at a time, or every single month. I have a goal of actually working on 10 projects right now. So we got our hands really just full at the moment, despite the market, right? A lot of people are really, really afraid right now. And I think that's why we're able to like get so many, I think, good deals, because a lot of investors are retreating. So we do a lot of Airbnbs or short-term rentals as well. And I think that we're one of the biggest providers of short-term rentals in the area.
Nice. How many units do you have?
We have 35 short-term rentals here in Sacramento. And then we have 2 more in Vegas. And we have about probably 2,000 plus doors, in Texas and in Colorado. Yeah, these are just multifamily, yeah. So I'm like KP, LP, GP in, these, big, multifamily syndications or apartment units.
What do you like better? You like the big multis, or you like doing the Airbnb?
So I guess it's really just the diversification of the portfolio that gives you a blended return, and also a blended risk. Yeah. So if you look at multifamily investing, the risk is really, really not there, right? You're talking about 624 unit apartment building, which we just recently closed, right? If you lose 1 tenant, 2 tenant, Yeah, I mean, your vacancy is still kind of low, or occupancy rate is still low. I mean, it's still like above like 96, 7%, right? But if you're talking about, hey, losing a tenant in your single family, right? Let's just say a duplex, you lose one tenant, that's 50% vacancy or occupancy. And that's tremendous too. But the return in multifamily is not as good as the return in short-term rental. Like we usually get like 24+% return on investment on our short-term rental. And if we do a cash out refi, right, our return is like through the roof. It's almost infinity in that case. So we're able to kind of pull out our money, right, do it over and over again. That's how we can like just grow that rental portfolio, so fast in a short period of time.
So you pretty much doing like the Burr method on
I say I call it the Burr 2.0, because the 1.0 is really just you're doing with your own house, right? But 2.0 is you do it with your house that's rented by your tenants, and those tenants are short-term tenants.
Yeah, I like it. Is short-term a pain in the butt? Like I know, like a long-term tenant, I got someone in there, property management deals with them. I don't even hear anything. It's just a numbers game, but we're only renting once every couple of years. Like, what are you dealing with on the short-term stuff?
I think it just goes with any other business. Is once you have the right people in place, you will be okay. So the right people I'm talking about, like cleaners, yeah. And then you probably need to have a manager that sits on top of the cleaners that will coordinate the schedule of the cleaning schedule of the cleaners. Yeah, so that's kind of like the bedrock of this particular business. When a guest checks out, you want to make sure the day before, call the cleaner. Hey, the guest checks out at 11. Have the cleaner come to the house 11 right on the dot and make sure you clean this property. And these are, the properties that you need to clean on this particular day. And we also charge our guests for late checkout or early check-in. So that's kind of like bake into their schedule as well. So we prioritize cleaning of these properties based on their requests.
Gotcha.
So that's another kind of like revenue stream that I call it the ancillary service that we charge to guests, so we can make money there as well, in addition to like the booking that we get from our guests.
Yeah, and that's what I hear too. I hear there's a lot more profit in the Airbnb. It's just like those type of properties, the short term. It's just the movement, a lot more moving parts.
Yeah, way more moving parts, and definitely not for the faint of heart. But I think that's good for me because it drives a lot of people away. Competition. Anytime that you have like, hey, scarce in news, like in the market, people are not going to take as many vacations as before because we're in a recession, and these landlords are scared, and they're just kind of like, hey, maybe short-term rental is not for me, I'm gonna sell. That's good for me because that just makes me even more a dominant player in my market, right? Because they're just basically just bowing out of the market. So I have less competition. What that means is I can just charge more, per nightly. It's good for me. So yeah, you kind of have to play both ways. You can make so much money on Airbnb, but it comes with so much headache, right? So maybe I shouldn't do it. I'm clapping my hands. Good for you. Yeah, don't do it. Don't get into it. Don't come into my market or something like that. We're in a recession. People are not taking vacation as often as before. Okay, that's fine. But that's far from the truth too, right? Because we still get a lot of travelers that come to town for one reason or another. They come for a wedding, for anniversary, for their kids' graduation, just for visitation. And there's like landmarks here in Sacramento. We're the capital of California. And there's a railroad museum here. And there's the Capitol Museum. The governor's mansion is also here. So we're very close to Napa Valley, the wine country, like on the west side, and then Lake Tahoe on the east side. We're very central. It's a place full of trees, so people come here for vacation, if you will, pass through. And just recently we got so much fire going on too. So people who are displaced, we got insurance agencies that's calling us, left and right. Do you have a place for my client for like 30, 60, 90 days? I like those a lot because they're like medium term and they pay a lot of money.
Right. They're not going to trash your place or anything.
No. And we keep security deposit too, like $2,000-3,000. Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes even more. And insurance, they pay for it.
Yeah, that's solid.
Those are the best clientele. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, so different topic. I remember when we were at Fuel, you were talking before. You're talking. I forget who you're talking. You're like, dude, you're not thinking big enough. Like, talk a little bit about your mentality on when you're setting goals and what you're trying to do. Like, how are you thinking and like picking the goals and numbers you want to hit?
I think that we do this full time, right? But then we have this kind of like a very small mentality that, hey, I just want to buy one house. And I used to have this mentality too, until I hired a mentor and he's telling me his goals, and he's telling me that, hey, you should stretch your goals too, otherwise you're not like growing. So I think I was giving you an example of raising money for this multifamily. We're talking about 624 units in a multifamily in Houston, Texas, right? That will blow people's mind, right? I mean, think about, especially in California, right? I mean, houses here are like over, in Sacramento is like, $400,000, but in the Bay Area it's crazy, over $1 million, right? Think about, well, how much did we bought that for? We bought it for $28 million, right? I mean, that's what an equivalent of 28 houses in the Bay Area, right? So you can either do that or you can do, 624 units and really hire the right people and have the economy of scale working for you. Because once you have that scale, the cost of managing 624 units is going to go down. And you're probably paying way less per door than you're paying a single family maintenance fee wise, right? I mean, sometimes, HVAC blowout, for example. We change a package unit on a single family home. That's like $11,000. Actually, I take it back, maybe $7,500. If you're collecting rent and you cash flow $200-300, right? That's gonna take you probably 200 months to break even, right? To recuperate the $7,500 that you spend on replacing that package unit, for example, right? But that package unit may serve like 100 of units, for example, in your multifamily apartment building. So the cost is actually spread out, right? And the labor that you're paying to install the package unit is going to be less too, because that cost is also spread out as well.
Yeah, I like that too. Like, even just thinking big, because I thought that was interesting too, because a lot of people I talk to are like, yeah, I'm just going to do a deal. It's like, why not shoot for 5, or why not shoot for 10, or why not shoot for bigger things? Because even if you fail, you're still getting better than you were originally shooting for.
Yeah, I mean, the math that you're doing for one deal is no different from doing a 100 unit deal. You know what I mean? You might have like 1, 2, or 3 extra zeros in the back, right? But if you punch that number into the calculator, it's all the same. I mean, if you normalize by something, right, it come out the same percentage, right? It's just I mean, if you're talking about 10% of $1 million versus 10% of $100,000, right? I mean, would you rather get $100,000 of cash flow, which is 10% of that, right? Or would you want to get like, $10,000 of $100,000? So, I mean, you get 10 times, but you're working just the same. So that's kind of like scale, or you need to kind of enlarge your mindset so you can with scaling, you can grow faster, bigger, and you can enable a lot more people, benefit a lot more people that way.
Yeah, I agree. Hey, so now you do a lot on social media and stuff too, like TikTok and everything, right?
Yeah, I do. Just so recently, I'm super intentional about this. I'm like really obsessed with it now. Like I look at the growth count, I look at the engagement, I look at the likes and so forth. At the end of the day, the mission there is to really get the message out. Like we have so much that we have picked up, over the years, knowledge-wise, experience-wise, and we just want to dispense that knowledge, really pay forward to people who are getting into this and they don't know what to do. They just want to do like their first deal, right? We want to help those people, and hopefully, we get some benefits from it too. There's like people who bring us deals, people who want to JV with us. Yeah, we do that. People who do not have the money, right, to do a deal, so we go into a partnership together, and hopefully, they can pick my brain, or they can learn through the process, how to flip a home, what is it that you need to do in order to flip a home and things like that. Yeah. When I started this business, I feel like, I think it's kind of still the case, is that I'm dealing with, there's people who are afraid of just giving out their secret sauce, if you will, right? And they think that you're a competition. So they give you a partial knowledge. And I don't ever want people to feel that way with me. I'm really open door. Yeah. And a lot of times, people say this too, oh, you got to bring value to other people, right? And you ask people, what value can I bring to you? I think that's the wrong question to ask for somebody, right, that doesn't even know you and doesn't even know what they need. You kind of need to study them and really figure out what they need from you, and then bring value to them that way. It has to be kind of automatic, right? Just so that, and I think that's kind of like the value proposition too, is you have to think what value you can bring to that person. Don't ever ask that person, what value do you think I can bring to you? Ask yourself, what value can I bring to that person, right? And then start bringing value to that person, whether it's like more deals to the person, more money, or contractor, wherever. By studying the business, by talking to the people that this person hangs out with. I do have a monthly meetup, right? Maybe the value will be, hey, help me with the monthly meetup, get more people to participate, send the word out, help me with just advertisement, that could be a value. But I want somebody to really just come up with a list of things that they think that they can help me with, right? And that's just value, right? That I think that a person should give to the person that really, I want to pick the brain from. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's an interesting way to look at it too, because you're right. Because a lot of times, if you ask somebody what you can do for them, they don't know. Like, how are they going to? Yeah, they don't know what they don't know.
Exactly. Like, Bryan, I know you're great. I want to bring value to you. What do you think that you need from me that I can bring value to you? It's almost like you have to study me, Kevin, to know like what I have so that I can bring value to you. It's almost like, why would I don't even know you. I need to spend time knowing you. It's almost like, okay, forget about it. You might as well just take me out for a cup of coffee.
Yeah, and that's true. And then so you're saying, like, on TikTok and stuff, you can just keep delivering value to people and they can kind of like get what they need from it. Like different topics you're talking about are going to hit different people and the things they need. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, there's just so much on social media right now. Yeah, there's a lot of distraction. There's so much noise. And I think the knowledge there is really segmented too. And a lot of it is, I don't even know if it's like true. It's very anecdotal, if you will, right? Some work, some doesn't work. I tell you, cold calling doesn't work in my market, and people talk about cold calling, texting, right? I think that marketing strategies are really market dependent. For example, So you have these knowledge. That's why I think there's also a different way of delivering content in a more systematic way. Is, you know, you just create a course so people can go through it if they're really open, if you really have the time, right, to learn, you know, real estate investing 101, for example.
Yeah, and you're right too. A lot of the content online, you're right. People give out half of the information because they're trying to bait you to come do something else versus you could tell people all the information. Like, you don't have to hold any secrets back. A lot of people aren't going to do it anyways, but some that are going to do it, it's good. And you're right. There's a lot of fake information out there or BS information. It's like, it's not for the user's benefit. It's someone trying to sell something. So yeah, I like how you do it. You're just pretty much putting it out there, paying it forward. Anybody can benefit from it. Good. Right.
Yeah. I think it's also, the other kind of like the mission that I have with this is for credibility. I want people to see that we are actually very active in doing what we're doing. Yeah, flipping homes, buying homes, selling homes. If you're not on social media, they call, I think it's Gary V. He called social media the current state of the internet, right? It's not enough to just have a website and just have that sit for the longest time with stale information. You can update your blogs and so forth, but if you are not like, you know, posting contents on your social media, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, yeah, just to name a few, you're really not, you know, reaching out to your audience. And there's so much people who want to see you. And understand that, you know, this is kind of like me too. I don't want to be showing my face in front of the camera, right? So I used to do a lot of just non-talking kind of, you know, skits, you know, just pointing things out like what I used to do. But now it's transitioned to more just information giving. For example, like this particular podcast interview is going to be chopped up into like micro contents that we can deliver to people, like a short form format. Yeah, so people can see, people can actually get something from like a 15-second video, if you will, Bryan.
Right. And I was looking at your social too. I like the content because you have different things on it. You have like some motivational things. So you got that. I saw you had some testimonials showing like even just credibility on, hey, we're at the closing table. How was the experience? Stuff like that. And then just short tips, like just tips from different things. So depending on what type of person there is looking and what stage they're at in their career, you have content that will probably, some of the content will hit most of the people.
Yeah, you know? For sure. And I think that content creation is in and by itself a business, right? It's almost like a full-time commitment, if you will. So I always tell people that, hey, if you want to do this, you have to be so committed to it. You have to be serious about it. You have to really spend time on it. This is not, hey, it's not like I'm gonna grow like 100,000 people overnight, that kind of thing. Or I just publish a few videos and I expect to get like 10,000 views, right? No, it doesn't work that way. It grows over time. That's why we're so consistent about it. And that's why when I decided to do this, and I gave myself more than, you know, a quarter, and we're still doing it. It's just kind of like the part of the process in our company now is this is a big part, and we spend so much resource, so much time, and if you take this away, that's probably 40-50% of the business resource, company resource on that effort, you know. So, and just the other thing is I've become more kind of aware of what is hitting me throughout the day. You know, sometimes an idea would just come, you know, when I'm taking a shower, right? And I would just write it down and I would script it out, and that becomes a topic that I want to create for my audience, because I think that the audience will benefit, or just an experience that I'm going through at the moment. And I think that the audience will benefit. And it's really just another way for me to really document things that I've learned, because if you don't document, right, you lose it. It's almost like a video journal or video diary, if you will. If nobody else sees it, I mean, maybe I'll lose my memory, I'll get demented, 40, 50 years from now. I can always go back and see, hey, this is how you do things this way and that way. Oh, I never thought about that. Do you ever have those experiences where you're like wowing yourself because, how did Bryan ever think about how to do this? But you did it and you're impressed by your past version of you. Do you ever have that experience?
Yeah, you do. And then you're like, how did I do that? If you document it, you're right. Like you'd have it all documented. So you could be like, okay, here are the pieces that made that happen.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
That's pretty cool. Now say you were talking about like being on camera and things like that. I had the same problem. That's why I started a podcast. I'm like, I don't want to be in front of a camera. I don't know how to talk. Like I'm good one-on-one, but you stick a camera in front of me, I'm an idiot. So I know a lot of people are like that. Like, what are your tips for somebody that just doesn't feel comfortable in front of the camera but wants to start something? What do you think?
I say just do it. Just do it. I had a coach that told me that if you have a certain weakness and you want to try to overcome, try to work on that weakness. So it can be doing a muscle up, it can be doing snatches, I'm talking about just like weightlifting, exercise, but that kind of got carried over to fear that I have, for example, being in front of the camera is, hey, once I start doing it, once you have some kind of momentum, that momentum is going to carry you and you're going to break that terror barrier, if you will, but if you don't try more than one time to break that terror barrier, you're just going to bounce right off and just stop. So you have to like keep on trying until you have a certain level of momentum that you can just break through that terror barrier. And then you're just at the next level. And there may be another, terror barrier, afterwards. So I say just keep on priming the pump, until you get some kind of momentum and then water is going to start flowing out.
Yeah, I like it. Someone always told me too, they said in the beginning, they said, no one's watching, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, exactly. Like I had somebody told me this is, I only have one audience. That's my mom. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I know for sure that I have one audience and that's my mom. She's always like, she doesn't even like my videos. I told her to, because it's going to help me with the ranking. She said, no, I don't want people to see me liking your video. She's really private,
Yeah. That's crazy. So that's good stuff though, because I like all the content you got out there. I saw you talk about a lot of books on there too. Any books you recommend? Like, what's your top?
I don't know. They're kind of just constantly changing the ranking of these books. But I'm currently reading this book. It's called The 5-Second Rule.
Okay.
By Mel Gibbons. I want to say Gibbon or Gibbons. So it's about what I just talked about, like breaking your fear, overcome your fear, is you start counting from 5 all the way to 1 before your mind can start rationalizing or coming up with excuses for you not to do this thing, whether it's like talking to this girl that I really like, right across from you, right, over at another table in a restaurant, right? Or just pick up the phone and start talking to a owner who may or may not want to sell his house to you, right? You start counting 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go, before your mind can start, generating an excuse for you not to do so. You know what I mean? Because it takes some time for your mind to think. And once you get overcome or succumb to the reasoning of your mind, you're just going to stop doing it. And you're going to kill yourself for not doing it later on. Damn, I should have asked that girl's number or Instagram handle, so forth. You're going to just, regret so much afterwards. So I thought that was really good. Like, hey, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. before I snooze the clock, the clock, I'm just gonna get up and do that. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There's actually scientific study that was done on this, and there's many successful testimonials speaking on the result of doing that. So I challenge you, like whatever that you do, whatever fear that is holding you back, count from 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then just do it.
That makes sense too. Yeah, because once you start letting your brain go, you'll talk yourself out of a lot of stuff, which really, what's the worst case that happens if you do something? Like you go talk to the girl and she says no. You don't have to regret it.
Exactly. Yeah, I'll tell you a story. I was in Nashville, right? So I got hit up by a girl. Okay, she's over there at a different table. I've never ever gotten this kind of a bold movement from anybody. I thought that she made a bold move, and she told me afterwards she was like she has a couple of drinks. That's why she did it. But we're still talking. We had a probably 3 hour long chat yesterday. She's a very, very fun girl to talk to. I tell you that. I give her the credit for like just coming up to me, ask me, and she didn't ask me just one time. She asked me 5 times, and I didn't even know that because I wasn't even paying attention to her. And then she was just tapping on my shoulder, first time, second, third, fourth, and fifth time. She said, "I got you." And then all of us guys, just went over there. And then just hung out with, those 4 people that were there for the bachelorette party over there in Nashville.
That's cool. Yeah, you're right too. Yeah, because it takes a lot of, especially on her part too. Yeah, you got to give her credit. It takes a lot of courage.
I know. I give it to them, girls. I give it to them. Hey, don't just wait for that guy to come to you. Don't wait for that to happen. If you really like the guy, right? If you feel for the guy, go ask for that guy's number. Just approach the guy, say, because maybe that guy has the same feeling toward you as well. You never know, right? Who is to say that, hey, it's always like, guys, we have to do this to girls? Yeah, I mean, you feel great when somebody is doing that to you, but hey, you will feel really great too if you do that to somebody and this actually resulted in something that's like, I don't know, a marriage or, forever relationship.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool, man. Yeah, I'm glad you shared that.
Yeah.
Hey, now if people want to follow you, what's the best way? Like, tell everyone how to get a hold of you.
Yeah, follow me on Instagram. So Insightful Kevin Lee. Yeah, just follow me there. Look me up, and if they have any questions, I look at the messages there myself. So they send me a DM, I'll respond, and then we can talk afterwards.
Okay, cool.
I'm sorry. The reason that I don't give out my number anymore to anybody is I get so many spamming calls. Like, I put my phone on do not disturb now because, how iPhone has this thing. I don't know about Android. They actually classify a call, whether it's a spamming call or not. And I got these calls because I used to have, I still do have like rentals there in Memphis. So I get a lot of 901 calls, like non-916 area code numbers. And I know instantaneously that, these are people who want to, sell me one thing or another. In this case, is like buy my house.
Right, yeah.
I get a lot of text that way too. You skip trades and that's how you find out about the owner of the property. Yeah, and then you will call that person.
Yeah, so you said, tell us again the Instagram handle.
Yeah, it's Insightful Kevin Lee.
Cool. And Kevin, hey guys, we'll put that in the show notes too. You can check them out.
Yeah, fabulous.
Anything else we missed, Kev, or we want to cover?
Anything else that I can help you with, Brian?
I don't know.
I want to bring value, man.
You're bringing value.
Are you sure?
Yeah, 100%.
Hey, thank you so much for showing your face. I love it.
You know it. You too. Hey, well, thanks for coming on, Kev. Yeah, I think that's about all the time we got, but yeah, thanks for coming on. Anyone wants to reach out to Kevin, you know how to do it. And until next time, everyone go out there, crush it, and close some more deals.